Hi, I'm Donna and this is Charlotte. We're from Pimms Needles. Thank you for listening to our podcast. This is brought to you with Point North.
It's funded through a fund called Enriching Later Lives, and it's in conjunction with and to support our men's group, which is called Old Dogs New Tricks. And it's all about supporting men in midlife and facilitating healthy habits going into their senior years.
So we hope you enjoy it. Hi, and thanks for joining us. We're really excited to have David from the Clock and Pig Company join us today and tell us everything there is to know about Scotch eggs.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Good morning. Thank you for coming on.
No problem at all. Anything. You ask me anything.
I'm bringing our lunch. I can't wait to try these.
I'm so excited. Well, what specific flavour have we got?
Well, you've got the traditional Scotch egg.
Yeah.
Which is a large free-range egg, soft-boiled, and it's free-range pork. With fresh breadcrumbs around it.
You know the way to a woman's heart.
Many a woman, many a lady.
I'm hooked. I'm in.
Many a lady. Yeah. But no, we've done it for quite a while, and the people seem to like them. So we
happy days.
Yeah, been doing it for about 14 years now.
Wow. How did you get into it then? Do you want to tell us your story?
My life story.
Yeah.
Right. In a previous life.
We've only got 45 minutes.
I've had 3 lives. My first life, I was a policeman from 16-year-old until I did 27 years in Middlesbrough and South Bank and Grangestown. And I worked there. I left in 2001, 2. I had a year out where I bought grew grass. And what we did then, we just totally revamped the place because that's the site of an old isolation hospital from 1925.
Right.
Because what happened in the 20s, that there was a similar pandemic which happened back in 1925, obviously, and the government at the time had to find some small places throughout the whole of the UK because people were poorly and they had to take them away from the main populace.
That TB? Was that
Like TB,
Yeah.
scarlet fever, all that type of thing. So what they did, they built these hospitals, just tin shacks and similar things. So I was as one of those places.
Right.
And it stayed like that until the 40s when the Second World War broke out. And then the army used it and the ARP people used it as a training camp in the Second World War.
Right.
It was then demolished and then it was just used as a caravan site, just for a couple of caravans on it. And then I got my mitts on it in 1997, where I rented it at first. So I rented it, started doing a lot of clearing up, tidying up, so I didn't do anything to the house. And then I had the opportunity to buy it in the early 2000s.
Wow.
So we did when I was in the place, I left the place. And whilst I was in there, I met a friend of mine from Liverpool who was a policeman, and he'd been knocked over by a police car, strangely enough. And we met in Harrogate Convalescent Home, where we were both getting treatment for, I have leg injuries, he had back injuries, and we chatted away, and he got a job on Norwegian Cruise Line. So he said, why don't you apply for a cruise ship job? I said, me and a cruise ship, I've never been on a cruise ship in my life. So we went, so I applied for about 10 cruise lines, and I got one reply, which was from Disney. And I ended up flying to Florida, where I was there for 4.5 years.
Oh, wow.
What were you doing on cruise ships then?
Well, security.
Right.
I was a security manager on board the cruise ships.
Right.
So I went over initially for about 6 weeks, and I wasn't the flavour of the month at home. I'll tell you now. It was absolutely. It was terrible time, but she saw the light at the end of the tunnel, because she ended up travelling with me.
Right.
So she'd have, my contract was for 12 weeks, and then 3 months. 3 months on, 2 months off. So she used to travel with me for the first 6 or 8 weeks. and just live the life of Riley.
Wow. Hey, this sounds amazing.
And that was it, yeah. And it was great. And we travelled all the Caribbean, the Bahamas. We did the West Coast, Mexico. But it was 3 months on and 2 months off. And it got tough because what you're dealing with exactly the same what the police are dealing with today on the streets with drugs, sexual offences, all sorts of things. And they all happen on cruise ships.
Gosh, you would never.
It's the same. It's drunkenness behaviour. It's not as severe as what it is here, but those incidents do happen and have happened on cruise ships.
Wow.
People go overboard and they're never seen again.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it never happened with me. And people pass away on cruise ships. Didn't happen with me, but I know of people who have, these things have happened to. So it's an interesting thing, and so you're dealing with all them type of things.
It's something you don't really think about when you're on your cruise and you're having a lovely time. You're not thinking, do you know what? Someone's on here monitoring things that are going bad. You don't think anything bad happens, do you?
You don't. It's like if you're here, you won't know if there's anything bad happening outside until you read about it.
Yeah.
Or you hear the sirens going. You still won't know what's going on.
No.
But we were like. I was like the police station, so you knew what was going on.
Yeah.
You had a report from a restaurant that you
Yeah.
had an unruly customer, or one from a bar where you had somebody there who'd had too much to drink. I got into a couple of situations where two females had a fight between themselves, too much alcohol, and I actually said it was a cat fight. Now, I'm going back a long time, going back 20 years, and because of HR, they weren't too happy that I got called it was a cat fight. So these things happen. But remember, I'd worked the streets in South Bank and Grangetown, and you're dealing with 10 times worse situations.
Imagine.
So you're toughened up.
Yeah.
So after then, I finished in about 2006. Did a couple of little jobs because I think, what can I do? I was a car repo man for a while.
Right.
So I was travelling the length and breadth of the country, repoing cars.
Right.
Private investigator.
Oh, I love the sound of that. That's a whole new podcast.
You wouldn't, honestly,
Don't
it's
tell us
nothing
it's
like the TV. It's nothing like the TV.
First now, bubble.
I know.
It's nothing like TV, but it's quite... there's some similar things to what goes on there, where you're watching people... You're reporting on people and...
Is it checking up on affairs and
domestic,
things like that?
that's a classic one. And unfortunately, some people can't believe that nothing is happening.
Oh.
And it can be the most boringest job
Really?
that you've ever had.
Wow.
And it's no matter what you say to people, nothing's happening. They won't believe you.
Gosh.
So but that was only part of it.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then... How I started with the eggs was I'm always quite an animal lover. I've always been into animals. I love them to bits. I think they're one of the most important things going. I've got a load of ex-battery hens because where we live, it's a house in the middle of a wood, like obviously the old fever hospital. So I built a massive compound and I got all these ex-battery hens. So... We got all the battery hens there because what happens, sadly, is that the commercial hens, when they're in lay for all the egg companies, when they get to 72 weeks old, they get ready for there being like a spent hen. Basically, they go into a molt, so they lose the feathers, so they stop laying as many eggs.
Oh, right.
And the commercial farmers can't afford to keep them on. So unfortunately, they're sent off. So I located a couple of farms local and I went and got about 300 and I was getting them regular over the next couple of years. So I was selling them as an honesty box at home, people driving down, picking the eggs up. And then we thought, right, we'll have a stall at Saltburn Farmers Market. And that's where it all started. So... started pickled eggs.
Oh, I love a pickled egg.
Well, I've got a story on pickled eggs.
Go on, tell me.
At one point, we got the Guinness World Record for eating 3 pickled eggs in a minute.
Oh, that's hard going. That is hard going, isn't it?
We did it. It was a choice, and it was just something which we thought of just an entertainment for the market. So what I did, I made all the eggs.
Yeah.
I added a bit of chili to the eggs to make it a bit awkward for people, just to add a bit of interest.
You're not trying to help them, you
No, I just tried to see how it worked. But so I contacted Guinness, and Guinness says, right, you can do it one of two ways. One of doing it all yourself,
Yeah.
which won't cost you anything, or two, you can do it with us and it'll cost you £5,000.
Yeah.
So I said, right, I'll do it myself. So you had to have professional people to do the time recording, the filming, the legal documentation, and that. And I knew all the right people. So we got the team in there and we broke the world record.
That's amazing.
And we have a certificate, and it was a guy from Saltburn.
Yeah.
I forget his name off the top of my head. But yeah, we got the Guinness World Record for eating 3 pickled eggs in a minute. And I think it's about 53 seconds.
Wow. Were they all chili?
And it's on YouTube.
Right.
It's on
I'm going to go and watch
It's on
this.
YouTube. I think it's under Grewgrass Pickled Eggs.
Right.
It's on there. And yeah, you can see it all on there.
I think you could bring this back, like these challenges that go around on social media where people are tipping buckets of water. I think you could bring it back.
Bring back the pickled
Can
egg
you
challenge.
eat 3 pickled eggs in a minute?
But I mean, I didn't try, but some people tried it loads of times.
Right.
But it's, it was a good bit of fun, and
Yes.
it brought everybody together. A really nice day. That was great. Yeah, so.
Love it.
Another string to the boy, isn't
Yeah.
it? Guinness record holder.
Guinness World Record. So we did that, and then some bright spark along the way said, why don't you try Scotch eggs? Oh, Scotch eggs, who wants Scotch eggs? Well, we did the first Saltburn Food Festival, and we ended up, I only did 70. Well, I sold out within an hour. And then I did quite a few hundred the next time.
Wow.
We sold out in about 3 hours. And it just continued and continued and continued. And so we just continued doing them on farmers markets. And that's what we've done. But we've achieved a lot since we started. Won national awards we've won. And
Supplied
lots
the
of other places.
palace, haven't you?
Yes, we supplied Buckingham Palace.
Wow, that's amazing. That's incredible.
What happened was that we were contacted. We were asked to go and do an event at a university. I think it was Sunderland University. So we went to Sunderland University. It was one of the royals. I won't say who it was. The person is well known, but I won't say who he was. And we went to the event, and the royal loved everything what we did. So we got invited down to Buckingham Palace. Well, we had to turn them down the first time because we were away. We were on holiday. But then they says, can you come back?
Gosh, well,
Yeah. First time couldn't go. Second time, so we went down. Went in the prior purse. Is it the prior purse door? Sorry. So into the palace gates, parked up. Went privy purse door. That's it.
Right.
The privy purse door. So we went into there. Beautiful, absolutely stunning place. So then we got escorted into a lift, which is about 4 metres by 4 metres size lift with a couch in it. Went up there, walked right the way along the end of Buckingham Palace into a walled room, a wood panelled room, where we exhibited our Scotches.
For who? Were they just trying them, eating
The catering team.
They
Right,
wanted the catering there.
Yeah.
And the royal was there, and then the Queen's personal chef came by, and he tried them.
Wow.
And we both had cups of coffee, but we forgot to put milk in or cream in because we were so excited about being in the palace.
On that note, Donna, you need to
that
remember
note, I'll make
to
the
pour the tea and let's remember to put milk in.
And it was just one of those things, like surreal.
Did you just
moment.
pinch yourself and think, am I actually here doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're sat there chatting away as normal as like you and I.
Yeah.
No difference at all.
Wow.
And from then on, we got invited to another university where the royal was, and we showcased the property, what we were doing there. We then ended up being invited to Sandringham, and we went down to Wood Farm, where the Queen and Prince Philip lived. And as we drove down the driveway, the police are in the woods, and they come out with the guns and said, "Oh, you're the Scotch Eggman." And
Amazing.
that's all everybody knows.
I was going to
is
say
Scotch
you
Eggman.
wow.
Yeah, don't say anything else. So we did that a couple of times. I've got a few photographs with the Royals with Scotch eggs and stuff. But it was a great experience.
Yeah.
You know, just something different.
Yeah.
You know.
So was that for them to sort of order for you to supply
No,
for future
private.
event?
Just for private.
Oh, right, okay.
Just for private for them.
Right.
because I do like the Royals, and I know a lot of people they've got different feelings of them. But I'm a Royalist. I like the Royals, and I think they do a lot for the country. They bring a lot of money and a lot of tourism in there, and that's just for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
What an amazing story.
I know.
And
Well,
a
there was
claim
an
to
amazing-
fame.
It was
I've got
amazing.
another one.
Oh, come on.
I've got another one. Whilst we were at Sandringham, we took the scotches in, and we had a cup of tea just like this in the old kitchen in Wood Farm, and two of the chefs over there were just like two old fellas, and we were chit-chatting away, and they're ex-army chefs who looked after the Queen Mother and what have you. And we were talking about medals, and they'd said that they got army medals, and I said, well, I've got a couple from working in the police, and they said, oh, well, you would have got another one if you hadn't have tried to kill the Queen Mother. So I'm thinking, so my ears pick up. And I was fascinated. I said, well, come on then, you can't let me go without you going to tell me. And apparently what had happened, that sadly this gentleman's passed away now, so nothing can be done. All right. And what happened was that he'd left a bone in the fish, which he was clearing out. Wow. And it had actually stuck in the Queen Mother's throat. But everything was all right. She was okay. And
She's bulletproof, wasn't she?
What a story.
Wow, that is
I thought, that
You wouldn't
I'm
want to be
sat,
responsible for that, would you?
I'm sat here having a cup of tea, and the gentleman who's preparing the stuff who nearly killed the Queen Mother is sat opposite me out here, and chatting was as normal as.
Were you thinking, I hope there's no big-sized bits in my Scotch egg that
I'm just
anyone can
thinking-
choke on?
I was just thinking, wow, but just to be there.
Yeah, that's
You know, and it was just fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Gosh,
we've
that's
done
amazing.
quite a few bits and pieces, yeah.
That's
Keeps me going.
I know. So what makes a good Scotch egg? What's the key to
Quality.
your success? Right, okay.
Quality product. If a quality egg, free range, and make sure. And for making the egg, you don't need a fresh egg. You need an egg which is quite a few days old.
Okay.
Because if you try peeling an egg, a fresh egg, you'll be there forever and a day.
right.
And there is a process. I won't give all the full details, but you boil an egg for a certain length of time, put it in icy cold water. So if you can just imagine you've got an egg and it's hot, you then plunge it into cold. So like the inner part of the egg goes, so it comes away from the brown shell or the white shell. And what happens then, you can just peel it easy.
Right.
And then you make sure that you get the best quality meat or vegetarian food that you can, fresh breadcrumbs, and then cook it properly. And that's basically what it is.
Make it sound so
You
easy.
do, because we had a right bother. We were camping at the weekend and we were trying to boil eggs outside in a pan. And my husband's got one of them barbecue things. So it was all very makeshift. And we were going, it's not boiling. So they were on for ages and ages and ages. And then when I took them out, I was really struggling to get the shell off. So I think I probably overdone them.
You probably did it, yeah.
Yeah.
So next time you do it, boil your egg,
Yeah.
put it straight into cold
Into
water,
cold water. I didn't do that
and you'll
this
peel
time.
it, and you'll get it a lot better than that.
Because your Scotch eggs are amazing and they've got the runny yolks and they look fabulous. Because I think like years ago, I was always traumatised by you know, like when you see a boiled egg or a Scotch egg when it's got that green thing round the hard-boiled yolk. There was that perception years ago, wasn't there, about Scotch eggs? Where
We still find that now.
Do you?
We still find that now because people say, oh, I don't like Scotch eggs. And I'll ask them, say, well, why don't you like Scotch eggs? Not like to be, towards them, but I just say, well, years ago what happened was that you didn't know what the meat was.
yeah,
And the egg was like burnt
Boiled to death,
crisp,
yeah.
wasn't it? And it always had that black little
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing around
Yeah.
the yolk. and the orangey, horrible little orange breadcrumb things around the edge. But now, I've noticed if you look into Marks and Spencer's, you look into all the other supermarkets, they're all getting on board now.
Yeah.
The soft yolks and the breadcrumbs and stuff. Morrison's have got them in there now. So it would be nice if they think, oh, they've learnt from how we've done them, and that's a good little legacy. So I doubt it, though, because nobody will ever say that.
But I think what you've done is you've taken, like, really what you described as something that, say, was quite sort of basic, sort of buffet food, wasn't it? To something that's quite gourmet.
Well, it's that artisan,
really
isn't it?
artisan and
Everything's
done
handmade
nicely.
as well. Everything is handmade. I mean, during COVID, we got quoted, is it a proper Scotch egg? Because the government were asking.
Oh.
Remember, is it a substantial meal? And a couple of press newspapers rang me up and asked for a quote and everything. So I gave them a quote. Says, well, yeah, it is. It's a substantial meal, but you try eating one, and it will last you
Yeah.
quite a long time.
Yeah.
So they are a big meal, and it's a good. It's just less than 100 gram of meat, but then you've got the egg, which is 75 grams as well. Then your bread on top, so you're talking a fair bit.
Yeah. Where do you source the meat from then? Is that...
Right, the meat is sourced from a variety of places. What's happened at the moment is that you're finding that lots and lots of small farmers are disappearing. A lot of small producers are disappearing because of regulations, because of animal feed costs, and they're saying it's not worth it. So some of this meat comes from a company a bit further down south, but it's trying to find local suppliers. There's commercial suppliers, 10 a penny, but I don't want to use that. I want to use special ones. I mean, I have some Iron Age pig, which comes from Farndale, and that's just over the North Yorks Moors. I used to have 2 other suppliers in Farndale, and they've gone the distance because one of the main things is the abattoirs are closing because of European Union regulations.
Right.
So you're finding now that they're getting more and more spread out. We get some from County Durham. There's a lovely farm called Wild Farm. I think it's Northumbria. He breeds rare breed pork as well. So we get the decent stuff. It's not the commercial off the shelf, which I could name quite a few people who've not what the type is, but it's bred very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And not fed the best thing. It's the same as beef. If people like beef, there's a difference between grass-fed beef and corn-fed beef. And the lifestyle is what they have. And we always think that if we can guarantee, which we do, the lifestyle of the animal which we've used has been the best that it can, and the process at the end is the quickest and the best way, that's what we would do. But I do have a lot of vegetarian. And
Because you're a vegetarian, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. I have the odd bit now and again. I do have quite a bit of venison because that is natural, it's wild. There's lots of pros and cons why people talk about venison, whether you should cull deer or not, and there's a number of reasons for it. But just imagine if you've got an old deer out in the woods there and its teeth are down, and it can't chew food, it's going to starve. So that's a lot of things with animals in the wild, that they'll just starve and they won't go, in a quick and painless way. But venison is one of the best meats going. I mean, I use a lot of game in the products, and game has been amazing.
Right.
Pheasants, partridges, because that's another bone of contention with a lot of people, is the shooting industry, where the game is not used how it should be. There's a lot of pheasants who are reared and they're shot and they're processed, but they're not used at the end of the day.
Right.
And it's a sad situation. I won't go into the full whys and wherefores, but I tend to get some of the pheasants and he used them in the Scotch eggs, and the final producer gets the Scotch eggs.
Right, okay.
So it's nothing's wasted. And then the carcass goes to Ferret Rescue in County Durham and in Billingham. So we do our best in processing everything.
Yeah. And do you produce them yourself, in-house sort of thing?
We work from home.
Yeah.
We started off initially in the kitchen, but that caused a problem with the eggshells going down the sink.
Right.
So that was a big problem. And then what we did, I have 4 garages at the side of the house, so I converted the garages to kitchens. So I've got 2 kitchens, a cold room and a storage room.
Brilliant.
And we just work from there.
Wow.
Just tabletop fryers.
Wow.
That's crazy. Because I was saying your boxes are absolutely gorgeous, and you were telling me that these were for Wimbledon.
Yeah, a couple of years ago we got contacted, would you like to supply Wimbledon? I said, do you want...
Do you have pinch me moments? Like the Palace, there's Wimbledon, we're based in Teesside. Like, how does all of this happen?
Well, there was a company down south who were some sort of agent for Wimbledon, where they supplied hampers and things like that. So they said, can you supply Scotch eggs? So I says, well, yeah. I said, oh, well, they want a specialised one. So, well, what do you want? So we created a truffle Scotch egg.
Wow.
And we had to go back and forth a few times to get the right taste and the feel in there, and we got it right. So we ended up sending quite a lot down to Wimbledon for the tennis championships.
Wow.
I got interviewed by BBC. There's a film of it somewhere. So we supplied them down there. And I actually met a customer who had been at Wimbledon who said that he'd had one of our Scotch eggs.
Gosh. That's amazing.
Small world that one.
Yeah.
It's
Just
crazy.
incredible.
Fantastic.
He actually came to a stall at one of the farmers' markets afterwards, and he says, I had one of yours. I went down to Wimbledon for the tennis championships, and I thought,
Wow.
fantastic these.
Amazing.
Just incredible.
Gosh.
Just incredible.
So who is in your team producing these then? Do you employ people?
Yeah, I've got some, they're mostly casual people. We had a really good team before Christmas, but then that fell by the wayside and left being a massive issue. So
Right.
I've been slowly recruiting people there. I've got a young 18-year-old guy who's left catering college and he's doing a good job. I've got son-in-law who's helping me out as well now, and hopefully, because I can't go on forever. And I want to try and pass on everything, but everything's in my head.
Yeah. This is the problem when you're an entrepreneur.
Everything's in my head. And so he says, I need to sit down with you and write down everything what you've got. And I said, yeah, feel free. So he's grafting away since 6 o'clock this morning, weighing up and boiling eggs.
Wow.
I think you've got a book in you, David.
You know what? I've wrote one.
Have you?
On my diary, over the last, a friend of mine, Ken Braithwaite, I tell him, he's wrote some books called The Drover, and he's had them published. He had them initially for his family, and he's got them on, is it the e-book thing, is it?
Yeah.
Something, he's got them on there. And he says, why don't you write a book on your career? And this is a couple of years ago. And this is a gentleman who's about 85-year-old, he lives in Stokesley, a grand old friend of mine. He said, why don't you write a book? So for the last couple of holidays when I've been away, I've took a diary down and I've wrote everything down. But I haven't done anything. I don't know what to do yet with it. I've been given details of who to speak to, who to give the proof to, how to write it and how to say, but I haven't got time because I'm busy doing
this. This is the problem. You're always
that's the thing
in the business.
And it's
working.
like, and looking after my animals at home.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be having a normal life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the gym as well.
What animals have you got at home then?
Well, we have Shetland pony, who's 29-year-old. Years ago, I did some bit of work for the RSPCA, and they said, "Look, we've got this pony. He's absolutely crackers, but he's in the back garden of a house in Redcar." So I says, "Right, okay. Will you have him?" I said, "All right, okay." So I went down to Redcar, and this house in Redcar, and I walked him back up to our house, and he's been there ever since. So, and that would be, so he must be at least 31 now.
Wow.
And he's getting his toenails done on Friday.
Getting a pedicure.
He's getting a pedicure on Friday. I've got 8 geese, and then I've got a lot of like wild ducks. We did have a swan a couple of weeks back because there's a lady in Redcar who rescues quite a few wildlife animals. Karen, they call her, and she's brought stuff up to ours and released them. So we've had a swan there. Wow. We've had all sorts of things, but I've also got some turkeys, which turned up at the house at Christmas, and it's 2 males. We did have 2 females, but the 2 females I think have died.
Right.
And the 2 males are still there battling.
How did they turn up? Did somebody bring them, like rescue?
We don't know. I just saw them via the cameras. They actually turned up from the woodland.
They wandered in?
They wandered in.
Oh my gosh, they must know you're a bit of a sanctuary.
Well, one of them is a TV star apparently, because I know it goes on from one to another to another. Well, apparently a few years ago, and I can't find it on social media, there was a Christmas programme called The Christmas Turkey or something like that with Peter Wright from the All Creatures Great. You know, the vet guy there? He did a programme with one of these turkeys, because 3 turkeys had turned up. It was 2 females and 1 male had turned up like just out of the blue. And then this other one, a lady had rang me, says, I understand you got some pet turkeys. Would you like another one? So I did. So I took this other one, and she told me the story that her dad had been taken into hospital, and would you look after this other turkey until he comes out? But I've not heard a single thing since.
Right.
But they call him Bert.
Oh.
This turkey. I know it goes honestly crazy.
Bert the turkey.
Bert the turkey, and he's been on this TV programme with Peter Wright, and he fixed him up because he had a bad neck. I think it was turkey neck or something they called it.
All right. I thought that's what you get in middle age.
I know, it's crazy. And so
We're getting ads for that.
so Bert is with us still now. Yeah. So that must be over a year now that he's been here. But he's 4-year-old.
Wow.
And people, when they come down to our house, think, what the hell are they? Because nobody sees a turkey with his feathers on, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
I bet they're quite a size, are they?
He's a big lad, yeah. He's a big lad. He'll be 2.5 foot tall.
Gosh, that is big.
And do you keep them as pets, or will they feature in some Scotch eggs?
Everything's a pet.
Yeah.
Everything's a pet.
Yeah.
Pony.
Yeah.
Everything. We're very, very lucky that, you know, I see baby rabbits grow into big rabbits. I see baby hares grow into big hares. We've got moor hens with the chicks, and we see them grow. The ducks have the eggs, and we see the ducklings around there. So we see everything grow like that. And it's great. And we have tawny owls. We have a barn owl pays us a visit. Fox occasionally comes through.
Actually, it sounds amazing.
It's a lovely spot.
It is, isn't it? You've been before, Don.
Yeah.
You know what it's like. Yeah. And it's like when you sit there, because when I get up in the morning, because I'm always an early riser, I'll go and sit in the conserve and look out the window, and you can just sit and watch all the animals just pass. I do feed them every day. I've got 2 big feeders. And you get wild pheasants down, you get parrots, you get squirrels, you get everything, all the British wildlife. It must be congregating at our house.
Oh, that's lovely though, isn't it? How nice. It sounds quite idyllic, making your Scotch eggs.
It is.
Looking at the...
It's finding the time to do everything.
I was going to say, I know behind all of that, and there'll be a lot of work to keep the business moving forward. And I guess thinking of like what's going to be the next flavour, or do you adapt your recipes, or if you get one that's a winner, do you stick to that one?
Most of the time, yes, you do. So we stick with the black pudding, we stick with the chorizo, traditional, but we have some World Cup flavours as well, which we've just been putting out. A Canadian one, which is maple, and something else I can't remember, but was maple in it. There's a British Bulldog one. There's a German. It's called the Worst German. it's spelled W.
Oh, worst.
Yeah.
And I just think, whoever thought of that? It's just incredible. The Worst German. And then there's the Mexican with a guy with a sombrero. It's like a chili con carne type of thing with a Mexican hat on, and it's very funny, But they're still okay.
Yeah.
You know, but everybody always likes traditional.
Goes back
They
to
love when we do a vegetarian one, they love the vegetarian ones.
So what's the?
I like a vegetarian Scotch egg.
Yeah.
Well, we have a really good one, which is like a vegetarian haggis,
Right.
which is oats, lentils, pulses and seeds, and I add mushroom to it as well.
Nice.
All that mashed up with a bit of egg and just made up into a Scotch egg, and they're really popular.
Because you do so many farmers markets, and you and your wife Christine are just always a big part of them, aren't you? I think personality wise, anyone that's ever bought from you will always like remember your stand, won't they? And
My philosophy is that I think that you've got to be very personable with people. You've got to be we're good front of house. Christine's very good front of house. I'm very good front of house. But I like doing the work behind as well.
Yeah.
But sometimes physically, to do that, everything is hard work.
Yeah.
yes,
Because we're not spring chickens anymore. But we enjoy going out, we enjoy the marketing. Yes, it's nice to be asked by the big people, the big companies to supply. Yes, it's nice to do all these type of things, but we love the local area and we enjoy the local events. And the people are great.
because you must see a lot of the same returning customers.
Yeah, There's a lot of people who come every week. We get asked if we've got a shop. Well, I'm always tempted to have a shop. I've been tempted to have a shop for 13 years, but like I just think, how can I get the time?
Yeah.
I tell you what's very hard is getting staff. Really is, and you give people an opportunity, and it's hard work getting them in. And unfortunately, the youth can't communicate as well as what we used to communicate.
No, we totally agree. We are really lucky. We've got a lot of our hosts are sort of middle age, and they're all ex-teachers or
We are blessed with
professionals,
staff,
and we are
actually.
blessed with that. But we've had a couple of younger interns in, and we've not had the same experience.
It's frustrating, because the opportunity. The opportunity is what they can have, even if they're with us a short time. But to have a bit of oomph,
Yeah.
they don't have any oomph.
No.
Seriously lacking them.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, come on, just get going.
Yeah.
And I've got there's another lady who works with me occasionally when she comes in, when she hasn't got to apply for a job or she hasn't got to get her hair done or something like that, and it's like I'm trying to give them the opportunity to work, and it's like hard work.
Yeah.
As much as I want them to do well, and I do want them to I want everybody to do well. But it's just sometimes it's like I'm drawing really,
Pulling teeth.
really hard work. It really is. So it's. But the overall thing with this, like, we put everything into these. We've supplied a lot of weddings. We've done funerals before. I've been on orders today where we've done some delis. Been between Russup and I've been up to Piercebridge, so
Nice.
everything in between.
Yeah.
So
And you supply in delis and anywhere else further afield, like
we like to only keep probably about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Where we love going down to Filey, doing Filey Food Festival, which is so friendly, nice people. We know the same people there. We do Seaham Food Festival, which is coming up in August. We've got Saltburn Food Festival, which is the biggest one-day foodie event. Which
It's
is
a fab event, that,
Yeah, so we're plenty on there. But the farmers markets are our staple, really.
So how many eggs do you produce in a week, for example?
If I told you that, I'd have to kill you.
All right, that's fine.
It's an awkward one because I make records of what we've done roughly each year to see where they are, and they never correlate.
No.
It all depends on your footfall, it depends on your weather, depends on the economy, and we're finding most traders now are finding the economy is having a big bite out of public spending, and I don't know which way it's going to go. That's the trouble out there, but people are very, very careful over what they're spending.
Yeah.
I've noticed, quite a big change in some markets, but then others, they've been really good.
Yeah.
So, we did one last weekend where results from last year were totally different
Right.
to this year,
Yeah.
and the weather was pretty similar. Footfall was pretty similar, but sales were so different, and you can't work it out.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't know. So every single market's different.
Yeah. Do you always go with a set idea of like, this is what we're going to take, or do you
Yeah.
sort of tailor it to
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I always look at the previous month's
Yeah.
events and see what notes I've made. And then I check up and see what there's. And I get thereabouts. It's just experience.
Yeah, I was going to say that knowledge, isn't it? Yeah.
And knowing what flavours to take as
Yeah.
Because like vegetarian one, I'll change maybe in the spring and the summer to I'll do a beetroot and goat's cheese one.
Sounds amazing.
Or I'll do... I know.
You can tell it's getting towards lunchtime for us, isn't it?
Or I'll do a potato, cheese and onion one.
That also sounds amazing.
So there's a massive variety. I've done a curry one today because it was requested, and it's a friend of mine from Ingleby Barwick who was a chef down in London, and he worked with me. We met actually on the cruise ship because he was an environmental officer and I was security officer, and we met. And he says, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Oh, because we both had Teesside accents." He said, "Oh, I'm from Ingleby Barwick." I said, "Oh, I'm from like near Newmask." So we got on well together. We kept in touch. So he's creating these sauces which I can blend into the pork. So it's totally unique.
Yeah.
So we did a Caribbean jerk one, which was tremendous as well. So it's just unique.
So going back to when you were a policeman on the beat in Middlesbrough,
Yeah.
can you imagine someone coming up to you and saying,
Scotch
you're
eggs.
going to be the Scotch egg man? Does it ever make you sort of like, because I think these podcasts really, they're aimed at sort of men who might want inspiration for a hobby. I think my other half loves making Scotch eggs. I think it's one of the things that people are interested in.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think what's really interesting is the diversity in your career, that you started off as a policeman, then you've been on the cruise ships, and now you're the Scotch egg man. Like, does it ever make you think, wow, how far have I come?
I'm forever an optimist. Forever. I'm never pessimistic. I'll never ever say, "Oh boy, it's me." I have health issues which are restricting some of the things what I can do. But I know as long as I do the best what I can and do the right things, I'll be all right. And I don't smoke. I rarely drink. Try to look after myself. I go to the gym because I want to be as fit and healthy as I possibly can without going overboard. I'll never be Arnold Schwarzenegger. But
You never know, David.
no. I mean, I invested in a personal trainer as well, and that's been fantastic. You know, started off at 3 days a week. I'm down to 1 day a week, but I've built my own little gym at home. So my mindset is that don't ever think that it's woe is me. There's always light at that end of that tunnel. No matter what, there's light at that end of the tunnel. And if you've got a hobby and you're interested in doing something and you're thinking, what can I do? If I wanted to get a living out of it, there's always things you can do. You know, you can always turn your hand to something. And you can get a little living out of it, and it just keeps your mind active. You know, it really does. And I've always got something to do at home. I never ever sit and watch the football match.
Yeah.
All the time. You know, I'm a massive Borough fan, so I'll watch all the matches as much as I can. I've given up going because I can't stand like the guy who will sit next to me who knows everything about the game and he's just chuntering on and what have you. And then somebody wants to go to the toilet and then you're having to sit up and that. And oh, God, I can't be done with this. And I used to be a season ticket holder. I used to be there every week, home and away. But I can't be done with it now. Can't be done. But just be positive. Just be positive.
I think that really comes through from talking to you today, how passionate you are and positive and about what you're doing and doing all the right things and making a really great product.
Yeah.
And
well, I had a lot of adversity at the end of my career in the police. It was really bad for me, really bad for me. But I thought, right, I know that at the end of the day, it's going to be all right. I know that I'm going to, if you graft hard, and I've grafted from day one, if you put the effort in and the time in, and you go out to do something, you will eventually succeed. But if you sit back and do nothing and don't be positive, there's a lot of nasty things and horrible things out there in that world, you know, and I met a lot of it when I was working, you know, both on the ships and both in the police. But it's always like that. And I've had some chew today, right, when I've just delivered up into Darlington, where the guy was really Mr. Angry with me for a mistake I made. I apologised, but he got just kicked off. And I said, look, just calm down, apologise. And then it eased right down. So you've got to look at things like in a positive light all the way. And that's what I do.
I think that's
paid off, and I think you've got an amazing business and it's ethical, and it's been super successful. So
it has, you know, from like doing what we've done with the royal family, doing the Wimbledon thing, the pickled eggs, and promoting what we do in the northeast, northeastern Yorkshire.
Yeah.
You know, I think we do a good job.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's been a complete pleasure talking to you.
Isn't it?
Thank you so much for coming on. It's
No
been
problem.
lovely, and I think we could carry on talking forever.
Oh, there'll be
But I
loads.
am excited to try the Scotch egg.
Yeah, of course.
It's getting near lunchtime. No, thank you.
Pleasure for
thank you for joining
asking me.
us.
Thank you.